Now, the attention of the entire country was drawn towards the recent attacks on humans by crocodiles in the Nilwala River. However, a News First team which visited the Nilwala River was able to capture footage of human activity which has contributed to creating a conducive environment for crocodiles.
The News First team commenced its journey up the Nilwala River from the mouth of the river. Within a few minutes after commencing the journey, we witnessed this large estuarine crocodile. We witnessed how the pollution of the river has created easy feeding grounds for these reptiles. The overgrown forest on the banks of the river provides plenty of cover for these reptiles. We also witnessed how human activity has invaded the banks of the river. Scenes of garbage being dumped into the river are plentiful. Several butchers can also be witnessed along the banks of the river. We also witnessed several undertakers along the river where human corpses were being embalmed. The Nilwala River has been polluted to a level where it cannot be claimed that at least some of the waste from these institutions is not dumped in the river. Several farms are also maintained on the banks of the river. The river banks are also an easy source of food for domesticated animals like cattle. We also managed to witness several occasions on which the public used the river in an unsafe manner. These are the protective fences erected at certain places where humans can safely use water from the river. However, getting into the river outside these locations has contributed to crocodile attacks. In spite of the threat to their lives, it would appear that the public are not prepared to keep away from the Nilwala River. The crocodile is longer than 20 feet. The crocodile takes animals from the land. He swims up and down the river watching the people. The people do not get into the water. There is no place to bathe. There is no water here. Tomorrow on Primetime News, we take a nocturnal tour of the Nilwala River.
Now, for more details on our visit to the Nilwala River, you can log on to our website at www.newsfirst.lk. Once again, that website is www.newsfirst.lk.
And in business news tonight, Central Bank Governor Ajit Nimad Kabral rejected the allegation levelled by certain quarters that the calculation of the per capita income, as stated in Central Bank's annual report, was flawed. Speaking during a media briefing in Colombo yesterday, United National Party parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva, consultant economist, questioned the method of calculation of the per capita income.
Over the past few years, issues have arisen with regard to the credibility of the report. One fine example is the per capita income. I have with me a review written by former Deputy Governor W.A. Vijayawardena. He says that the exchange rate used to convert the GDP from rupees to dollars in 2011 was 110 rupees a dollar. He says that due to this, the per capita income has increased rapidly from $2,400 in 2010 to $2,836 in 2011. The economic growth rate stands at 8.3%. Then how can the per capita income in dollar terms increase by 18%?
I want to categorically state that it is a complete lie. And it's very unfortunate that a person who has some learning in the subject is making an allegation of that nature. There has been absolutely no departure from the normal norms of the calculation of GDP and the GDP per capita income. And if that number does not suit Dr. Silva, I think it is still unfair for him to attack the process by which it is done. I'm sure he would have preferred a much lower figure and a much lower per capita income because that would have suited him politically. He is also quoting a statement from a previous deputy governor, which again is a distortion. The same process that was followed by the central bank when that deputy governor was in charge as well is the same process that is being followed now. And I'm very disappointed that he is using this to sling mud at the central bank as well.
Well, the two suspects in the murder of the two monks at the Kotte Rajamahavihara were identified by witnesses. This was during an identification parade held at the Nugegore Magistrates Court today. During the parade, 5 suspects were identified by the witnesses. Nugegore Acting Magistrate Tissa Wijeratna presided at the identification parade. The suspects were remanded until the 4th of May. A notable feature was that the suspects did not have legal representation today as well. The suspects are in custody in connection with the murder of 2 monks at the Kotte Rajamahavihara on the 20th of last month.
News First, wherever you are. Truly an international news network. News First is now available real time on the web. Visit www.newsfirst.lk from anywhere in the world. Watch news live. News First, taking Sri Lanka to the world.
And up next, we take a look at our investigative journalism segment, Action TV.
On the 16th of this month, Action TV revealed the plight that had befallen about 2,000 families due to their access to healthcare being limited by the decision to downgrade the Labunoru Hospital in Maradankadavila, which had been functioning as a rural hospital since 1999, to a primary healthcare centre. The Director Health Services of the North Central Province has addressed a letter to Action TV claiming that some of the facts presented in the expose were baseless. The Director Health Services has failed to mention in his clarification that a rural hospital once functioned in Labunoru. Among the facts contained in the Action TV expose, which the Provincial Health Services Director has deemed baseless, he claims that the information presented with regard to Provincial Health Services Department taking away the only ambulance in the rural hospital several months ago is false. However, the North Central Province Divisional Health Services Director has testified that this information is in fact true. A day after the Action TV expose, he visited the Labunoru Rural Hospital on the orders of the Minister of Health. The doctor who was working here was serving on a temporary basis as he was attached elsewhere. Therefore, the ambulance was not necessary. However, an ambulance has been placed there for the other doctor. Even though the Provincial Health Services Director has not mentioned in his letter that the primary healthcare centre was established instead of the Labunoru Rural Hospital, it is evident through the fate of this rural hospital that the mechanism being used by the Provincial Department of Health Services to get in line with the aims of the health sector is to downgrade some rural hospitals. The North Central Province Divisional Health Services Director, who visited the hospital on the 18th, accepted in accordance with the facts presented by Action TV that the public has been made to face many hardships. The Ministry of Health is not downgrading hospitals. Throughout the district, the Provincial Council is carrying out renovation programs. What has happened here is that our message of improving quality in the district has not gotten through. If shortcomings are pointed to us, then we can take immediate measures to resolve them. We are thankful to Action TV for revealing this information to us. Will the health authorities understand that by downgrading rural hospitals like the one in Labunoru, which had functioned for 13 years, the rural populace of the Anuradhapura district will be denied their right to health care? Action TV remains vigilant.
Good evening and welcome to Sports First. First up, we have some rugby news. The opening match of the Inter-School Division 1 Group A encounter between St. Joseph's College Colombo and St. Peter's College Bambalapitiya was called off due to bad weather. The Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association stated that the match has been postponed and that a date for the match has not yet been finalized. And next we have some fencing news. Sri Lanka emerged runners-up at the South Asian Fencing Championships. A total of 5 nations participated in the championships.
The second South Asian Fencing Championships concluded in India yesterday. The Sri Lanka men's fencing team was represented by 6 participants while the women's team was represented by 3. The men's team won 4 silver medals while the women's team won 6 silver medals. The women's team managed to win 4 bronze medals as well. The championship was won by hosts India.
And on that note, we wrap up this edition of Primetime News. It is an absolute pleasure having you with us as always. If you want to read up on any of the stories that we had tonight, you can log on to our website at www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Nadim Majid.
I'm Sonali Manikavadige. Good night.